Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Cosmic Cleanse, an antioxidant-rich rooibos tea. Align spirit and body with this immune-boosting tonic crafted with antioxidant-rich rooibos, soothing marshmallow root, licorice root, and more. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. All right, thank you all so much for watching again. Shout out The Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. I guarantee you're going to like it. With that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Hey guys, I'm Sostomo.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about, where you're from, what you do, give us that Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Okay, I am based in Portland, Oregon. Mm-hmm. I've been doing music ever since I was little. Okay. Kind of just grew on me. Mm-hmm. And I had a lot of influences around me. And yeah, now I am here today.
And what got you started with music initially? Was it in your household, or did you just kind of find it yourself?
Yeah, it was in my household because my dad played the bass. My mom did singing in church. My aunts too. And I also did singing in church too.
Oh, nice.
Till I was 10 years old. And ever since I was this is my shit.
Okay. And then what was, actually, this is a more recent one we've been asking everybody. What was some of the earliest music you remember hearing?
I heard a lot of Russ when I was little because of my sister.
Okay.
Probably some Soulja Boy.
Oh, okay.
my brothers, and also Justin Bieber too.
So all the classics.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I dig that.
Yeah.
And then this next question, this is one that we kind of check in with everybody on just to keep a little continuity.
Okay.
What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Believer from Justin Bieber.
Oh, okay. So he's just he was kind of a main inspiration for you. Oh, yeah. I dig that. Yeah. What made you want to get that one? Or how'd you come about picking that one up?
So me and my sister were obsessed with him when we were little. So just his music and his art, it was very good to me. I really liked listening to it, and it was fun to listen to. I was a little girl, so of course I'm gonna want to hear that and have a little crush on him too. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, I dig that.
Pretty much it.
And then what was the first live show you ever went to? That was one you wanted to go to.
It was Jamie Grace when I was little. You might not know about her. She was Christian, but I also did go see Justin Bieber too. Okay. And then Post Malone actually opened up for him, so I saw Post Malone and Justin Bieber.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was cool.
And if he was open, that must have been a little earlier in his career.
Yeah, I think it was around 2018.
Okay.
Yeah,
I dig that.
In the Moda Center, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so it was still a pretty big show.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I imagine Justin was doing little stuff if he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool experience, and it's cool that you got to see Post Malone when he was still kind of doing his thing.
Yeah, it was fun.
Hell yeah. And then before we move into more of the current day, do you have a defining moment where you decided to take music more seriously?
Yeah, so I actually made my first song, I think around 2021. And then I think a week later or 2 weeks later, I did a show at the Flow Show.
Oh,
and
hell yeah.
So after that, I got a lot of compliments, and that song really went big. I think that's one of my biggest songs right now. Mm-hmm. It's what we could have been.
Yeah.
And so after that just took off, I was I should keep on doing this. This is my thing. And I love to sing and all that stuff. So I was I should take this
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
No, and it is a really good track. I was checking it out before.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about more of your music in a little bit later in the interview.
Okay.
But now let's go ahead and get on into you in the current day. Okay. And we're going to get a super easy one out of the way.
Okay.
How'd you pick the name?
It's a shorter version of my last name, which is Sostomo.
Okay.
So you can hear the Sostomo in my Sostomo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I dig it. It's like the first time I looked at it, I was like, huh. Like I was trying to like piece where it could have come from. So that's really cool.
A lot of people can't pronounce it. And I actually thought about like changing it, but I'm not, because it's like very unique, you know?
It is, yeah.
And so it's like, so the more unique it is, the more like it catches people's eyes, you know, and they're like, oh, like, how do you say this or how do you say that? So whenever they see it, they're like, yeah, that's her, you know?
Yeah. And like aesthetically, it's a really cool looking name.
Yeah.
Like especially with like the S and the T
and
that more middle part, and then the OMO at the end, like just that shape is really like pleasing aesthetic.
Yeah, so like it's perfectly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then let's go ahead and talk about your writing process.
Okay.
And we're going to break it up into chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning.
Okay.
When you get inspired, you're ready to make music.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things you do to get a track started?
So usually I find a beat and I hum out like the melody. Mm-hmm. And so if I feel like the melody fits with the beat, I'm like, okay, I'm going to punch in the words.
Gotcha.
And then I usually just do like the beginning until the hook. Mm-hmm. And then if I feel like it fits, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep this, you know?
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
And do you usually come up with like the hook first? Do you usually come up with the verses first? Like, how do you usually find that space?
It depends. Sometimes I just start from the beginning to the hook, because sometimes I just know what to say, or sometimes I focus on the hook and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to put. But it really just depends. I don't know. It just comes to me like naturally.
Whatever
like,
works.
Whenever works, yeah.
And do you get beats from people? Do you get beats online? Like, how do you go about curating those?
I've gotten beats from people sometimes, but like sometimes I don't really like it, or I'm like, oh, like, I don't know. But usually I just go on YouTube and just look for beats.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, nowadays it's such an accessible way to do it. So I dig that.
Yeah.
And then once you get a track finished writing, so it doesn't have to be like released per se, but once it's been fully written, how long does it take you to get comfortable performing it?
I think just right away. Like how I was saying, like my first song, I performed it like a week or two like after I released it. So it was like I didn't really have time to get comfortable, but then again, it was like it wasn't really a problem to me. So it was like I think just right away, like I'm just right away ready to perform.
So like are you like pretty much learning it as you're writing it?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just like whatever, like
I dig that.
I'll go for it.
And especially with like how musical your your voice is, I imagine like you've probably sorted out a lot of that by the time you get to the end. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And then looking at your process, because you like you said, your music, the most recent track that you have online is actually, I think it was like early 2022 when I was looking at it. But like in the last year or so, how has your process changed?
From like last year till now?
Yeah.
So I think this year I'm taking it more like seriously. I want to promote my music more, be more out there. But last year I did really good. Like honestly, I did really good because I did open up for Soulja Boy.
Oh hell yeah!
And I opened up for MB Riders, and I did a lot of shows. I did my first music video.
Oh man, you're definitely making big moves.
Yeah. So this year I'm like, we'll see if I can top that. You know, like
yeah. Hey, that's usually a good goal to have. To see how you can trump the previous one.
Yeah, it was. I did really good last year. So I'm just very looking forward to this year.
Very much. And I appreciate that confidence. Like, that's really cool. Like, I know I did good last year. I need to do better this year.
Yeah.
That's a great attitude to have on it. And I mean, like I said, I was checking out some of your music and it's cool. I appreciate that there's like a very natural element to your sound. Like, it doesn't feel over processed. But it feels like you're really you're doing a lot of it. And I mean, like if I had to pick a choice, I had to go with two because I really like Say My Name. It's just like it grooved the whole time. You felt really locked in. It was very, like I said, very natural sounding.
Yeah.
But I also like Many Things.
Yeah, a lot of people like
that because it's like it was a different vibe. It was a little tougher, and I mean the beat definitely goes. But like it didn't feel like it was outside of your wheelhouse. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like you were like locked in and you put just as much attention into it as you did.
Yeah, I love that.
With your other sound. Yeah. But I mean, and it moving on to your like most recent track, which was what was it, Weak Ass Bitch?
Yeah.
That's a fun one. That kind of has the same vein, and that was your first track with a feature.
Yes.
Yeah, what was that like?
It was so fun. She's my best friend. Shout out to
Baby Bug.
Yeah, shout out to Baby Bug. It was so fun. We wrote the lyrics like on the spot, and we recorded it like on the spot right after.
Oh yeah.
So it was super fun, and hopefully we make another track together.
Yeah, definitely. You two work really like this. It's cool because your sounds don't sound identical.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It was easy to differentiate who is who, and that kind of goes a long way. It's not like not that there's anything wrong with it, but when you hear a track with like 4 features and 3 of them sound the same, you're like, who is the other?
Yeah,
people?
exactly.
Like,
I'd be thinking that too. I'm like,
yeah. So I dig that you two brought like really different styles, but you obviously you had the dynamic there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But I'm curious to know, what is your favorite song to perform?
Probably Many Things too. Definitely.
I could believe that.
Yeah.
Definitely. I just imagine you'd kind of go off on that one.
Yeah, it's very fun to perform. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then looking at music that you're working on now, like stuff that's probably unreleased or like stuff that you've only recently been doing, what are some of the characteristics, the like descriptive elements and things that you are enjoying about music that you're going to have coming out soon?
So I just recorded a song not that long ago, and I've been like promoting it on my stories. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that song because I feel like that's the best song I have out right now, or that's gonna be out. I feel like I just showed like a lot of like my voice and like how like what I'm capable of doing. Because when I first heard it, I was like, oh my God, like this is crazy. Like, and I showed it to my friends and they're just very like proud of me and surprised. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like I'm surprised too. This is crazy.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now, like in the pop era, you know, it's what I'm doing right now. So I'm just very proud of myself for what I created. And so hopefully I'll be doing more of that like genre.
Yeah.
The pop, you know.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And then this next question, that's one we've started asking a little more recently, but it's definitely a fun one. Okay. Looking at current music today, so stuff that's like happening all around us, what are some of the things you're enjoying about new music, like the direction that music's moving at the moment?
Well, there's a lot of like versatility. I know that like back then it was more of the like let's say like Juju on that beat, you know, like that kind of stuff. But now everyone's doing just like their own thing. And so that's kind of what I admire because it's not just like one specific thing. Like everyone's just kind of doing their own thing, you know, and like what I'm trying to think.
No, I gotcha. No, and I mean, I think that really touches on it. And it's cool because that's definitely kind of the recurring answer is that there's a lot of variety in new sound. Yeah. Like back in the day, it's like if you were an R&B singer, you did R&B. Yeah. If you were like a rap star, you did rap. Like now everybody does a lot of things.
Yeah, they're getting more comfortable with like their self and what they want to put out there, you know? Yeah. And then actually like nobody really cares what you put out. Like some people will like be like, this is fire. Some people will not. But like, as long as you like it, then, you know, who cares, you know?
Yeah, very much so. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
And then to wrap up this middle portion, this is probably the densest question in the interview. Okay. But we've talked a lot about, you know, your experiences, the actions, the reactions, things like that. But when it's just you and the music one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
I think it just gives me a lot of comfort, you know, like, let's say like I'm feeling sad. I just like to express myself in my music, and it feels like it's just like another part of me, but like I'm talking to me, you know? Like I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, that makes perfect sense.
It just feels good to like express myself and write, and knowing that I can record this and like create my own sound. Yeah. So I think that's yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And just because I'm now curious, do you have like your own home setup that you do all your stuff at? Do you go somewhere to record it?
I go to Burn Money Studio.
Oh yeah. I definitely had a handful of people on the show that go there. Shout out Burn Money Studios.
Yeah. Shout out Sam. That's my engineer.
Oh, gotcha. Shout out Sam as well.
Shout out
Hell
Sam.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to some hypothetical questions.
Okay.
And for these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well.
All right.
But this first one's pretty straightforward. If you could perform with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive.
Okay.
Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
Kelly Uchis. Yeah.
Okay.
I love her so much.
Yeah. Oh, solid choice.
She inspires me a lot. Her sound is so beautiful. You know, she just had a kid, and I think she's working on an album right now. So just her sound is just so pretty. And I actually texted her, which she obviously didn't answer, but I texted her like a year ago, and I was like, when I'm up, like we finna make a song together, like I'll meet you one day. And so I think our voices would just like fit perfectly.
That's kind of
like,
what I was going to say as well. Like, yeah, that makes
so
amazing.
Sense. Yeah, I would love to work with her.
Oh yeah. And, you know, honestly, just because you brought that up, it never hurts to like reach out to artists on any even if you're sure they're not going to answer. It's wild when you get that one answer back, and you know you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt or cost any money to just be like, hey.
Exactly.
Let's do it, because you never know what's going to happen.
And when I do collab with her in the future, I'm going to show her, and I'll be like, oh my God, I texted you. Like, it's so crazy.
And she could be like, oh, I read it. I'm sorry I didn't get back.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
Can I say two?
Yeah.
Okay. So first is Kilmatty. I love Kilmatty.
Shout out Kilmatty.
We're really good friends, and I love her energy. I just went to her show, I think like last month. Her sound is beautiful, and I just love her ethic, like her work ethic.
Very much.
Her music, it's amazing, and I would love to work with her on something that would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
And the second person is Wavy Davy.
Oh, shout out Wavy Davy.
He's a good friend of mine. Every time I go over, he's always working on music or recording or writing, just anything music.
No, he is super dedicated to his craft.
It's like, dang, like that's amazing, you know? And it would be interesting to see what like we would work on if we were to make something.
Yeah.
'Cause there's two different sounds, but it would be interesting to see like what we would create.
No, very much so. And I think you two would bring out a lot of cool elements of each other's sound in a track together.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, everybody definitely at both of them in the comments. Let's make that happen. That would be really cool.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then you'd only be 4 songs away from an EP after.
Yeah, exactly.
And do you have any, I guess I'm breaking format here, do you have any plans for like a future EP?
Yeah, and an album too.
Oh, damn.
That'll be fire.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
I was going to say, I just realized we'll touch on that when we get to your wrapping up part. But I'm super curious to know, because now hopefully they'll end up as 2 of the features.
Yeah.
But getting back to the hypothetical questions, like I said before, sky's the limits. And in this one, it's pretty literal. But if you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access or building stability or power, it's guaranteed the best lineup, guaranteed the best show. And it doesn't have to be a venue. It could be anywhere.
Okay.
Where would you want to perform?
Mexico.
Do you have like a spot in particular, or just tour the whole country?
That would be cool to tour the whole country. That'd be fire. I feel like it would make me feel really good, and my family. It would just be crazy, like knowing I'm from there and then performing there to my people. It would be an amazing feeling. I think that'd be fire.
Yeah. Also, I guess I've never really considered the option that people could answer that question with just touring a whole place. So I'm going to start dropping that as a light suggestion for people in the future.
Yeah, that'd be hella cool.
And then to wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could have put out an album yesterday. Who would you want an album from?
Maybe XXX Tentacion.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I know he's put out another one after he passed, but like I want like a new one of him right now. You know? I wish. Yeah, he was a really good artist. Yeah,
very much so. I definitely miss music from him now.
Yeah, very touched me too. Back then, it was just so crazy. But I listened to him like almost every day, like literally.
I mean, even now, his music still got such good reason value.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh yeah. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. And I know we just spoke about it a moment ago. I'm really excited to hear. What can we look forward to between like now and September?
Definitely more shows. I'm hoping on doing a music video soon for my new song that's coming out. Oh yeah, my new song's coming out too soon.
Okay.
And I don't think an album, so I'm working on an album, but I don't know when it's coming out.
Gotcha.
So it's like I don't want to put out false information and be like,
No,
this is going to come out before September. But we'll see. So
yeah.
See.
And I guess I'm a little curious to know, because a lot of people now are moving towards like singles and like at most EPs just to kind of keep the releases going. What was your inspiration to choose to do a full album?
Maybe just because I know. Okay, so basically my album, I want to show people like my versatility, you know? So it's like I want to put out an album of a lot of different genres and showing people that I can do this and I can do that, you know? So I think it would be really cool instead of just putting out like singles of me doing each thing. So I'd rather just put it into an album. And then I think it would just be like very fire like that.
No, I dig
that
for sure.
Yes.
And honestly, I think that, and this is just entirely my opinion on it, but I think it's cool to drop an album that's really diverse, and then you can take your time promoting each of the individual songs in different spaces.
Yeah.
And then when someone goes to go check it out, they're like, oh, there's so much other music here already attached to this one song. Oh, it's so different.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool approach. I appreciate that for sure.
Excited. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then for this next one, go ahead and look straight at the camera and tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Sostomo, Sostomo, and everywhere else with the same username.
Oh, yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Shout out Jose, shout out Wavy Davy, Baby Bug. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, now we've got one last question to go. But before we do, I'm gonna steal the camera for just a second.
Okay.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to you, the Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. I guarantee you're gonna like it. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation. But what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? So it's a deep cut. Not a lot of people would probably know it, but it's one you think everybody should know.
I don't really know what it's called, but it's from the Sacred Souls. Do you know who that is?
The name sounds familiar.
The Sacred Souls. I think I forgot what the album is called though. But I was listening to it earlier today. But if you look on their Apple Music or anywhere, you'll see it right there.
Oh yeah. Everybody just go check out the Sacred Souls in general.
The Sacred Souls.
After listening to her music.
Hell yeah.
All right, but we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. This has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Sostomo.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
Bye.
That's a wrap. This is not a podcast. This is a show. Keep jamming.